Now, from the Columbia Basin, your local news source, this is iFIBER 1 News, presented in high definition. The #1 source for real-time local news, local sports headlines, and our very own Weather Center forecast covering the entire Columbia Basin. With your iFIBER 1 News team, reporting news in real time as it's happening. From the iFIBER Communications HD broadcast studio in Ephrata, Washington, this is iFIBER 1 News, and it starts now.
Welcome to iFIBER 1 News. Hope everyone had a great weekend. I'm Cody Johnson reporting news from around the Columbia Basin for Monday, June 17th. Tonight we have a report on the large wildfire near Soap Lake. We also look at a new form of racing in Moses Lake and how authorities are looking for a missing Idaho woman near Pasco. In sports, we have an update on local car driver Casey Kane at the Quicken Loans 400, and we have results from the U.S. Open. Our spotlight story tonight is about the thunder roaring around Soap Lake this last weekend. And we've got the latest weather forecast for the Columbia Basin from the iFIBER 1 Weather Center. Our top story tonight, State Route 17 was closed today about a mile south of Soap Lake because of a wild land fire. Here with the story is Ryan Lancaster.
State Route 17 between State Route 28 and 282 was stalled this afternoon while crews tried to get a handle on a wildland fire about a mile south of Soap Lake. At about 2 p.m., sheriff's officials advised drivers to avoid the route and detour through Ephrata. Smoke was blanketing the highway and visibility was severely limited in some places. Fire crews with Grant County Fire Districts 7 and 13, along with the Ephrata Fire Department, responded with brush trucks and water tenders as wind pushed the fire through sagebrush and other growth. Preliminary reports did not reveal a possible cause for the fire, which was still spreading as of 3 p.m. We'll have more on this story online as it develops at iFiber1.com, and we'll have a full report tomorrow. For iFIBER 1 News, this is Ryan Lancaster reporting.
Thanks, Ryan. Moses Lake is cutting back on construction projects and not filling vacant positions because of a $3 million revenue reduction. The city is blaming the loss of property tax revenue on a settlement which ended 3 years of dispute between Grant County and REC Silicon on the value of the property. The company disputed its property values for the 3 years, leading to 2 lawsuits and a case at the State Board of Tax Appeals. The company agreed to pay the same amount of taxes for 2010 and 2012, and the county agreed to lower the assessment for 2011, leading to a $3.3 million refund to REC Silicon. The refund was divided across 6 groups, including Moses Lake, which was required to pay back roughly $880,000. Moses Lake officials blame the roughly $750 million drop in value for the additional $2 million of lost property tax revenue. The money is coming from the city's $23 million current expense fund. It pays for city administration, police, and fire services, as well as provides funding for street projects. City Manager Joe Gavinsky said the city managed to put aside about $2 million during the 3 years of the dispute in case the city was required to pay back the refund. Racing has made news around Grant County in the past. We've had drag racers, stock cars, horse races, ATVs, foot races, hydroplanes, and now a whole new type of racing, rubber ducks. Here with the story is Cameron Probert.
4, 3, 2, 1.
And with that sound, the second Rubber Duck Regatta started at the Moses Lake Surf and Slide Water Park Friday night. The regatta raised funds for the Boys and Girls Club of the Columbia Basin. Executive Director Brian Mayo hoped to raise about $10,000 to $15,000 from the event.
Well, the Boys and Girls Club are very proud of the fact that it's $20 per year for a membership for our kids. And the reality is it costs about $2,000 per year to provide services and staffing, supplies, materials for those for those kids. So events like this and a couple of other special events closes that gap for it.
4,000 plastic ducks were adopted before the race began. Mayo explained the ducks circled the lazy river twice before being funneled into a chute and the winner selected. The club gave away about 50 prizes, including a stay at the Coeur d'Alene Resort and $2,500 in cash.
We need more ducks next year. We'll buy a few more and go to 5,000 or 6,000. So yeah, it's exciting. It's a good event too because we think it can grow and become a big event in the community.
The event grew from last year. Mayo said the club sold about 3,000 tickets last year. The money from the event goes to fund the operating costs of the 2 Moses Lake clubhouses, which serve about 220 children a day.
We just thought this was a little bit of a different, creative way to try to raise some money instead of just an auction or a raffle. Just and maybe renting the facility out. We're inviting the kids and families down here so they can. Some of the kids that don't get down here very often have a couple hours down here free. And then they can watch the ducks go around the lazy river. So it should be a good time.
For iFIBER 1 News, this is Cameron Probert reporting.
Thanks, Cameron. Each of the people you see here have warrants for their arrest and are wanted by various law enforcement agencies. If you see any of these people, the DOC asks that you not attempt to detain or apprehend them, but to call police. You can also call the Department of Corrections at 509-764-6180 during the day or 509-762-1160 after 5 p.m. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after these messages with the latest from the iFIBER 1 Weather Center, and we've got sports and more news coming up.